Hello, my name is Jingonelli, and today we are going to be looking at another tutorial. But before I begin off, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It will bring you some good luck in your forthcoming exams. Okay, moving on to the Articles of Association. With the Articles of Association, this looks at the day-to-day rules and regulations concerning the internal affairs of a company. In other words, if I look at moves, what are the rules and regulations that the students must follow? And also it looks at how a business should be run. Then it's saying these contain regulations for managing the internal affairs of the company. They are applied and interpreted subject to the memorandum of association, in that they cannot confer wider powers on the company than those stipulated in a memo. Now with this, it shows that the memorandum of association is above, or it rules out the articles of association, in that if at all there's a conflict between the two, the memorandum of association will rule out. So moving on, according to section 12 of the act, in case of unlimited company, the articles must state the number of the members in which the company proposes to be registered, and if the company has a share capital, the amount of share capital with which the company proposes to be registered. In other words, in case of unlimited company, it must show the number of members the company proposes to be registered, and it must also show the share capital which the company proposes to be registered with. So, and then we having an in case of company limited by guarantee, the article of association must state the number of the members with which the company proposes to be registered. That is with the company limited by guarantee. Then moving on to another point where they're saying where unlimited company or a company limited by guarantee has increased the number of the members beyond the registered number, it shall within the 14 days after the increase. So if 14 days after the increase, within those 14 days after the increase, it must notify the registrar that there was an increase, and the registrar shall record this increase. Then we are having section 13. Now with section 13 provides that conversation of a company may adopt all or part of the regulations contained in table A of the act. That is with the that is what the section 13 of the company act provides. Now, but according to section 14, a public company upon registration must adopt the code of corporate governance provided for in table F of the Companies Act. So a private company may or may not adopt table F. So with the table A, I think I'll provide something with table A, how it looks like. Then here they're just stating out what section 14 talks about. A public company upon registering must adopt the corporation governance provided for in the table F of Companies Act. So they're saying here, but for a private company may or may not adopt that table F. So moving on, a company may by special resolution, remember we talked about it, alter or add to its articles. So a special resolution which is passed by the majority of not less than 3/4 of the members has been entitled to write in person, or where proxies are allowed, or by proxy at a general meeting of which not less than 21 days 21 days notice specifying the intention to propose the resolution as a special and has been given. So they can alter the articles as long as they have notified the members within a period of 21 days prior to the meeting. Yeah, so that's it. It becomes valid when they decide to resolve. Then for unlimited company and a company limited by guarantee, it is a requirement to register this document. That is the articles of association. For a company limited by shares, it is optional. So If such company does not register one, the articles, if a company does not register one, the articles of association contained in table A. So if at all they don't register for this articles of association, the articles contained in table A of the company are presumed to apply to the articles of association of the company. So that's that with articles of association. So moving on to another document, that is a statement of nominal capital. So after the statement of nominal capital, because this is just a document which a document in which the directors of a company state the capital of the company with which the company is starting to operate with upon its registration and the amounts into which it is to be divided. So it shows the capital the company is to begin with and the portions the company has decided to divide its what? Its capital. So after this, in case of a private company, it will be given a certificate of incorporation and then it will commence business. You after listing those documents, that's when a private company will be fully registered. So I'm moving on to the next, the one where I had ended with the statement of nominal capital and the private company is fully registered. Now, when I am dealing with a public company, for a public company, I must continue. I list the previous documents and then I add on the additional documents, which must be a list of the names and particulars of directors and secretary, prospectus, stamp duty, which must be paid, then registration fees, a registration form, then I'll get my certificate of incorporation and then I'll commence business. So going back with the list of the names and particulars of the directors and the secretary, this shows the names. It's going to show the names, occupations, addresses of the directors and the secretary. That is to do with that document. Then looking at the prospectus. Now with the prospectus, this is a document stating out the nature and objectives of our company and inviting the public to buy and subscribe for its shares. So it sets out the number of founders of the company, share qualification of directors, names, description and addresses of the directors, number of the shares offered to the public for subscription, company property. So the purpose of the prospectus is to provide essential information about the position of the company when it is being launched, so that the interested so that those interested in investing in this company can decide whether to invest or not to invest. So this document is only a requirement for the public. So in other words, these documents must show certain details that is going to enable the people who are interested in it to either invest in it or not. Then we having stamp duty. Now with stamp duty, it is it's to do with the higher the figure of nominal capital registered, the higher the charge for stamp duty. So which stamp duty normally varies at a given percentage of the nominal capital. So depending on the startup capital started with, that is the stamp duty they're going to charge you with. So we're having registration fees. So the necessary registration fees must also be paid to the registrar on presenting the document for registration. That is one self-explanatory. Then we're having the registration form. So section 18 provides that a company is registered by filling in the particulars contained in the registration form in the second schedule to this act. So with this, yeah, just a registration form, and once they are filled in the registration form, then they are given the certificate of incorporation, then they commence business. In business law, we had ended on the effect of registration and the role of the registrar. Now with this, once a company has presented all its documents, a certificate of incorporation is issued to it as evidence that all the registration requirements have been fully presented to the registrar. And it's that certificate of incorporation that acts as a birth certificate to it. and that's when you can bring in the definition that a company has been fully registered and it's a legal person which is having a separate legal entity from its members, and it's capable of enjoying various advantages like a natural person. So that is with that. And if you are to look at the basic role of the registrar, it is to ensure that the business entities are not formed without proper documents, and also to ensure that they have complied with the law in the process of registration. That is to do with the registration and the role of the registrar. Now, moving on to the conceptual effect of the memorandum and articles of association.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.